Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Loren's Life podcast. I have got the fan blowing over here, so I'm hoping that you can't hear that. Hopefully the mic is doing its job and is just picking up my voice. But there's currently a heat wave here in the UK, which probably wasn't the best time to start filming this, but I wanted to make sure I could get this first episode out before the end of June, and it's currently the 23rd of June, so today was the day I needed to sit and film it. But yeah, this is going to be the first episode, and we are going to be talking about my journey and sort of catching up about everything that's happened to me so far and how we got to the point we're at, and where we want to go in the future, and hopefully we can have a good old catch up together. I just wanted to start by sort of saying hello if you're new here. My name is Loren. I run a small business called Pintada Designs, which is a stationery and pin business, which I have been doing since 2020. It's one of those lockdown businesses, which I actually started before lockdown, but I didn't actually officially call it Pintada Designs until lockdown, so I've just done it from then. I also work a full-time job at the airport, which means I work silly hours. I do a shift pattern, so I work 3 days on and 3 days off, and I work shifts that are either 4 a.m. till 4 p.m. or 4 p.m. until 4 a.m. in the morning overnight. So sometimes you might see me doing a night shift, sometimes you might see me up really stupid hours in the morning because I'm going to work. But yeah, that is kind of what happens in my day-to-day life. I also have just started a new venture with my family called Create & Co, which is a business built around markets. So we hosted our first market at the end of last month, which we will touch on a little bit later, a bit more. But just to sum up me as a person, I have 2 businesses currently and a full-time job. Overall, how am I doing right now? I'm really good, actually. It was my birthday a couple of days ago, and it's kind of kept me on a really nice high from doing the events. I ran a Kickstarter, which we'll go into, and yeah, that is kind of everything that has been building up around me and who I am and what I do. So let's go on to the first section, which is the Kickstarter. So I have just finished my 5th Kickstarter campaign, I think it is, and it went really well. It was successful. We got everything that we needed to get and a little bit more, so there's a couple of extras in there as well. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was a little bit nervous about this one because at the same time as planning the Kickstarter, I was also planning the first Create & Co market, which was a bit stupid of me, to be honest. A bit silly of me to try and put all that on my plate, but I managed it, I achieved it, and we managed to do both of them. But yeah, it was honestly just incredible. The amount of support that I get over on Kickstarter blows my mind every time. We managed to fully fund the project within a couple of days. I think it was 48 hours or something like that, which again, amazing. And it kind of took some pressure off me as well, because it just kind of meant that after that first couple of days I could just let it sit and let it run whilst I was planning the market, and then it ended the day after the market, so I managed to finish the market off and then finish the Kickstarter off, which if you're watching this on YouTube, my previous vlog was a little bit about that, about the market, and then at the end I did the Kickstarter. So if you did watch that last video, you'll know a little bit more about where I am in time. But yeah, I just love doing Kickstarter campaigns. They are so good for being able to raise funds for projects that you can't afford. And if anyone wants me to do any sort of video about Kickstarters or any podcasts about Kickstarters, please let me know, because I'm more than happy to sit down and do that. Like I said, I've done 5 now. They've not all been the same products. Some have been for pins, some have been for washi tapes. I had a Kickstarter last year which was for a ITA pencil case, whatever you want to call it, which was a completely new product for me, but again went really well. So if anyone wants to have a little chat about Kickstarters, I'm more than happy to do that. But yeah, it was honestly such a wonderful month of being able to focus on getting new products out there, a refresh on the shop, and telling people a little bit of story behind my business. So with Pintada Designs, it's not just pins, whatever pins I fancy. I have character-based pins, which are essentially little characters that live in my little world, and they all have stories to tell, they all have personalities, they all have jobs within the world. And the latest Kickstarter was called Coastal Cove, which is just like the little coastal area of Pintada Designs world, and it has a few characters in there which are old characters and some that are new. So yeah, there's a whole story surrounding the Kickstarter and sort of building up that project, as it were. So if you want to look into that, there is a lot of that on my Instagram, so head over there and check out my Instagram page to see the story. I think it is also still up on Kickstarter, so if you search Coastal Coves, you'll be able to find the campaign. However, you can't pledge anymore. But it will be coming to my shop as soon as I've got everything. Moving on to Creating Co. Like I said before, Creating Co was or is a market business. We did our first ever market on the 30th of May, and it was a massive learning curve. It was sort of nerve-wracking and exciting all at the same time. I have never organised an event before, so that was obviously something very new for me. Actually having to organise something and put something together, contact vendors, contact the events, like the venue and everything like that. So it was definitely a big lesson to be learnt. There are things that I think worked really well. There are things that we had feedback on from other people, from customers, from stallholders, and things that I just think that I should do differently next time, which obviously we can delve into that as well if you want me to do anything based around that. But just to kind of sum up Creating Co, it was the best day I think I have ever done in terms of how I felt coming away from an event. Like I said, I work full-time. So I work full-time in a corporate job at an airport, which is very structured. I know what I do when I rock up. When I go to work, I just go to work, do my job, and I head back home. And one of the things that I have been sort of pondering in the last couple of years is whether I can do small business full time. And I think that market kind of gave me the first little insight of actually we could. I just think that being able to do a market, fund it myself, be able to raise the funds back. I didn't make tons of profit on the event, so there's some little in-depth deets for you. We ended up making a very small profit on the event. Basically, it was just enough to get the costs back that we had spent on it. But again, it was the first one, so I wasn't expecting to make any money back, actually. So the fact that we managed to make just a small bit of money back, that was amazing. It was incredible. And I had some great feedback from the stallholders as well. So there were a few people there that were my friends, obviously, and they told me they had a good day. As I was walking around the venue, I was speaking to people who I might not know that well, but that had come to the event. And again, I'm pretty sure most people had an pretty okay day, considering it was the first one. It was honestly an amazing day. There are some things I would like to do differently next year. This year I did sort of stationery and crafts, and next year I kind of want to niche it down a bit more. So the idea behind Creating Co was never to be your local market type business. It was supposed to be a market that supports small businesses. My whole ethos around Creating Co is that we are a community of creatives, which is where the name comes from. and I think what I want to do is kind of tailor it to stationery and arts rather than stationery and crafts. So for the next one, I'm going to be a little bit more specific in the types of vendors that I allow into the market. So if you are a stationery business, or if you do arts and prints, if you are an illustrator, if you are a painter, in that sort of zone, those are the type of people that I want at the next market. So make sure you keep an eye out for when those applications go live. The next market is going to be next year in the summer, which I can't confirm any dates yet, but we are in talks with the venue about having one next year. And yeah, I just think that it's going to be amazing again, hopefully anyway. But even with everything that I've done with Creating Co, with Pintada Designs, I still find myself wondering, what am I going to do next? So that moves us very nicely on to my next section, which is about dreams and the future. Now, I am the type of person who dreams big. I don't think I have ever done anything that is small. I dream big and I try and achieve it. So the sort of like narrowing down a little bit, if I could tell you where I could see myself in 2 years, it is doing this full time, working from my little office in my house, creating markets, supporting small businesses, creating income that can support me and my family. And yeah, this is what I want to do. And if I can do that in the next couple of years, fantastic. It might not happen, but I really hope that we can do that in the next couple of years. My dreams for Creating Co. Now, I have briefly spoke on a live stream before on Instagram about where my head goes when I think of Creating Co. And my head kind of goes to not just markets. Now, like I said, the ethos around Creating Co and the values around the brand is that we want to support small businesses like myself. I've always been massive on doing that. If you've been following Pintada Designs around for the last few years, you'll know that I used to do a small business calendar. And there's a lot of things as to why I love supporting small businesses, and I just want to continue that. So with Creating Co, I had this idea of creating a shop and workshop area. So my idea is that we have a brick and mortar shop which sells lots of small business products in it, stationery and arts. But not just that. I don't want it just to be a brick and mortar shop. I want it to be a space where people can be creative and they can do their small businesses. Maybe if they don't have a space from home, they can have a place where they can run their business. So my idea is to have an area within that shop that they can run their businesses. Now, I don't want to delve too much into that because this is the internet and I don't want someone's copying my idea. But just know that there are massive dreams for Creating Co and where that brand is going. And I really hope that, again, in the next few years, we can get there and you can kind of see and feel the community around small businesses and how we want people to feel when they run their small business and when they think of Creating Co. There is also this big thing with me around being successful. Now, success is different to every creator. For me, success is that, like I said, I can do this as a full-time job. I have the income streams that can support me, support my family, myself and my partner, if we were to have a family in the future, support that, pay our bills. So that is success for me. I don't want to have a big multi-million business. I just want to be able to be happy and run my business full-time from my office, be able to work my own hours and be able to pay my bills. So that is where I see success being and what that means to me. And there is also one final sort of dreams for the future. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, my birthday was a couple of days ago and it is my final year of being in my 20s. I am 29 years old And I have this big dream and ambition that in my 29th year on this earth, I want to make a change in my life. I want to push forward with these dreams and these hopes and actually be able to see a difference in my brand and in my business from now until then. I don't know what that's going to look like. I just want to be able to look back and be like, that was a really great year for myself, for my business, for everything around me. And hopefully we can achieve that. I don't know whether I want to sit and pinpoint a few things that I definitely want to do this year and try and achieve them, which might be a really good video, which I might keep on the back burner. But yeah, those are sort of like my dreams and where I want things to go. Now we are going to move on to the real stuff. These are things that I want to catch you up on with my life and how I'm feeling and all the real stuff, all the nitty-gritty stuff. So the first sort of thing that I want to speak to you guys about is how I'm feeling around social media. Now, I have never been a strong person on social media. I disappear all the time. I have moments where I post regularly, and then I have moments where I go. And if you have watched my YouTube channel or you scroll back through it, you will see that there are months where I post a couple of times regularly, and there are months where I just don't post anything. So that is sort of like my struggles with social media, because I am so focused and so busy with everything that goes on in my head. I forget that I need to do social media. Now, one of the things that I really do struggle with is being able to post content that means something. I am a content creator that will post when I remember to, and it'll be something that I quickly make up. There's no thoughts, there's no plans behind it, and I really want to change that. I want to be able to plan my content, plan what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. With Creating Co, I actually have some help from my sister. I have hired my sister to help me with social media and campaigns, and she's doing a really great job at it. But that does mean that I now have a little bit more time to focus on the social media for Pintada Designs. So hopefully we'll be able to get that up and running and find a rhythm that I'm happy with. And then there's this pressure to feel like you have to post. Now, I have watched YouTube videos that say you have to post X amount of times to be able to be seen in the new algorithms. But that just isn't going to work for me. I work 40 hours a week, and on my days off, I like to relax and I like to chill. I do spend a lot of time at my computer, replying to emails, doing new designs, ordering products, and I just don't have much time to think of posts and actually post them. So having that pressure to constantly post definitely makes you feel a bit stuck. It can lead to massive burnout. I know it led me to a burnout not that long ago. And yeah, I don't want to feel like that. So the whole idea behind Loren's Life is that I will post when I want to post. And that came out really weird then. I will post when I want to post. And I'm just going to not put any pressure on it. Oh, I've been speaking way too much. But yeah, I just don't want to put any pressure on myself to post videos when maybe I don't have to post that often, and you guys will still be here. You still will watch my videos, you'll listen to my podcasts. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the content that you're going to get. I do think that when we hit that mark of leaving my full-time job and this being my full-time job, that will obviously increase the amount of posts that I can do and the amount of time I can put into it. But yeah, just trust me that I am trying my best to be able to post as much as I can, but sometimes it slacks. I do feel like in some cases there is comparison. I don't want people to think that I am copying them. I don't want people to compare me, or that I don't want to compare myself to other businesses. I just want to make sure that I am doing the things I want to do. Again, kind of why I wanted to put this podcast out. It's something I wanted to do for a little while. I wanted to catch you guys up on what's happening in my life in one big video, in one big podcast, because I forget sometimes to film these individual things. And if I could just make a list and then at the end of the month tell you everything, then I've covered everything that I want to say. So yeah, I do think that with social media and the struggles around it, I'm hoping that by taking this sort of more relaxed journey style thing that we can make this work for us, and hopefully you guys get to know a little bit more about me, and I can give you content that actually is good content and helps you guys and helps other small businesses, and everything that I dream about will come true. Just to touch on a little bit more about life, I recently have made a decision to buy a new car. Now, I didn't know that I was going to be buying a new car maybe like a week ago, but unfortunately on my way to work at 3 a.m. in the morning, I hit a badger. Now, I live in Somerset in a rural area, and there are lots of critters that cross roads, and they come out in the early hours of the morning, and unfortunately sometimes you can't get around them. I tried, trust me. And it made a little bit of damage to my car. Now, it's not the first time that this has happened, and I spent a lot of money to get my car fixed, and then it's happened again. So I have decided to get a bigger car, a car that is a little bit off the ground. So when I do these journeys, hopefully, if I was to hit something again, it wouldn't cause as much damage because the car would be further off the ground. And yeah, I get to go and pick her up on Thursday. It's currently Tuesday, so if I can get a little clip of my new car, I'll pop it in here. But I am getting a Jeep, and I'm calling it Janet the Jeep. It is going to be my old lady car, and I just think that in spite of everything, it is a great way to kind of sum up where I am in my life of starting a new journey and going on a journey with you, and what better way than having a blue Jeep to start the journey with. So yeah, I just think it's just a full circle moment, isn't it, to be able to say that I could start my journey in a Jeep. There we go, that is where the journey started. So we have been talking now for nearly half an hour. There's not going to be much cut out of this. It is going to be pretty much me just straight talking at you. So I just want to close off this podcast with a couple of things that I am grateful for. I am grateful for my friends and family supporting me. I couldn't have done Creating Co without them. My mum is constantly my biggest cheerleader in my business, and my friends are always there to support me, and even my friends that I've made through the community, they are incredible, and I just am so grateful to have them. I feel so grateful to have a mindset that I do about chasing my dreams and dreaming big and having the opportunity to do so. I do just think it's really important to have big dreams and try and go for them, because why would you live life if you aren't chasing your dreams? So keep chasing your dreams, keep going on that journey. I'm grateful for my customers that are supporting my business and keeping my business running. I don't have a massive customer base. I just have a fair few little customers that keep my business ticking. And I just cannot be more grateful for you and thankful for you guys. And obviously I am thankful that you have stuck around and listened to this first episode of the Loren's Life podcast. Now, they aren't all going to be structured like this. Some of them will have a theme, some of them won't have a theme. But I hope you are looking forward to the next one, which is going to be at the end of July. So we're going to post one of these podcasts a month, which is kind of to be able to keep accountable for them. And I think I can manage that. I think I can manage one podcast a month. So yeah, that is going to be everything for this podcast. And I hope you've enjoyed listening to it and watching it if you're on YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next podcast episode. Bye.